Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. My name is Tony Squares. That right there is Robert Lentini. He's been covering this industry for over a decade, now a writer for Sportskeeda. And today we're talking about Wembley Stadium All In London once again. All In London 2 is what we're officially calling it. Is it worth the price check? Is this pay-per-view going to be worth the money that you are forced to put down before Tony Khan and his HBO Max hat takes it to streaming? And on the other side, we do have updates on Rhea, Ripley, and the Judgment Day. We do have updates on the stuff that's happening in WWE, particularly Bob's favorite storyline since we've had this podcast. But that's coming in a little bit. WWE and the Gimmicks are coming in a little bit. Right now, we got to break down AEW's WrestleMania and potentially Bryan Danielson's last ever match. Bob, heading into it. We're going to go through this in a different way, previewing this all-in card, but heading into it, are your feelers out there? Are you getting a little juice for what is AEW's WrestleMania week?
Yeah, I thought last night's show really helped the whole buzz factor because I wasn't feeling anything until last night's show, if I'm being perfectly honest. And then I thought the end of the show was great. I don't know. We'll probably just go over that quickly when we talk about Strickland versus Danielson. But I really, really, really loved Danielson's promo last night.
Mm-hmm.
That was the takeaway from the show. I really loved that. And a bunch of other stuff that happened last night. Ospreay and MJF was great. The big feuds needed a big segment, and they got it last night on Dynamite, and that's all I could ask for heading into All In.
And we kind of got a go-home show like a match that's good enough to be on the pay-per-view but didn't fit on the pay-per-view between Okada and Cesaro. I thought it was a very fun Dynamite too, but let's dive in to the actual card, the actual predictions here. And what we like to do with AEW is they're asking you to pay a certain price for this pay-per-view. Each pay-per-view costs X amount of dollars. I believe it's what, $59.99? Is that what we're going with? $49.99, whatever it may be. And what me and Bob want to do when we break down this card is if this match was alone, how much money would he or I pay for this match? One match might be worth the entire $50 card. One match might not be worth a cent, Chris Jericho. So does it add up at the end? This all-in card that has 9 matches on the pay-per-view and 1 on the pre-show, will the numbers add up in the end to be the price of admission that they're asking you to pay for? Last time we did this, I believe it was at Forbidden Door. Is that the last time we did this? And we did not add up to the number where it was supposed to be. However, this one is their WrestleMania. Could this be a bargain in the end? Bob, do you understand the rules before we dive into this card?
Yeah, I'm tempted to give him just like a bonus dollar right now, just for there only being 9 matches on the card. Wow, what a big step for AEW. It's not, we're not going into this with a 15-match card knowing we're going to be sitting there for 5 hours and then a Tony Khan press conference. It's just going to be 3 hours. Yeah, it's true.
There is still time.
Someone, there's another gauntlet match. Or, forget it. Yeah, there's another gauntlet match you could throw on this card. All right,
let's dive in first. Before we go through the actual card, there is one pre-show match that I think is not so much interesting. The match, I think it's a comedy match, and it's put off as a comedy match. But I think the stipulation at the end is kind of interesting because we've talked about how, especially in the women's division, AEW needs to build these mid-card feuds. And Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale has been a mid-card feud that they've been building for quite some time. So on the pre-show, it's Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway getting into a ring in a mixed tag match between Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. This is going to be pure comedy. Stokely Hathaway will get destroyed and killed. Although, again, the winner chooses the stipulation of Nightingale versus Statlander at All Out, the next big pay-per-view that we're going to do. So usually, when that happens, the heel wins that type of a match, so they can choose a stipulation that makes the babyface look bad. But what do you expect to happen here? Are you excited to watch this on the pre-show?
I mean, no, it's just no. I don't care for Tomohiro Ishii. I don't dislike the man, but I don't need to see him this often that he's on AEW television. He's fun, the chops and stuff, but it is. I don't know. I'm thinking that Stokely and Statlander are going to win somehow and have their Willow Nightingale's the champion, right? So I think that's. I believe. So, yeah, I think that the heels will win and she'll pick the story. But if I had to also, we're not assigning a dollar value to this match, but this would be a 1 just for Nightingale, Statlander, and Hathaway.
Yeah,
Ishii's just there.
Yeah, this would probably not get a dollar value to me. However, I believe this is a perfect pre-show match. I don't think you should have filler matches on a pay-per-view at all, even if it's the pre-show. However, the pre-show matches shouldn't be matches that deserve a spotlight. The people are coming in, getting popcorn, doing all that stuff, getting into the seats at this point. This is the perfect pre-show match because the people who want to watch wrestling, there is a reason to have this match. And the people who don't, it's like, I'm not really missing too much. I'll read about it when Robert Lentini writes it up on Sports Kina, the finish here. So I'm all for it. I think that's a perfect pre-show match. Excited for it. Let's break into the card, though. Again, $50, Bob. Is this pay-per-view worth $50 in the end? And the first match we're going to go through, I cannot believe he once again is on a pay-per-view. The FTW champion, Chris Jericho, is facing off with Hook in a last chance match. And if Hook loses, he can never challenge for the FTW championship as long as Jericho is champion. So again, it's not like he can never challenge for it again. It's just he can't challenge Chris Jericho. Bob, three questions.
For the...
One, how much money are you willing to pay for this match? Two, who wins this match? And three, do you know what the FTW championship matters at all? Do you know if it matters at all?
That's what I was going to interrupt you. It's like, he can never challenge for the title. Nobody gives a shit about again. Like, who cares? I don't care about this match. $0. I'll be harsh on this one. I'll be honest. I'm disappointed with what they're doing with Hook. I can't stand Jericho at this point, and he was one of my favorite wrestlers. I can't stand him. And they're doing a Fozzy's. They're performing live before this match, so like,
I didn't know that.
F off. Like last year, he gets to, what have I become? Now that, like, that, God, that nasally, he thinks he's like fucking Bon Jovi. I don't know who he thinks he is, but he sucks. So I'm going to go with Hook to win. And Jericho doesn't suck overall. Just whatever this iteration of Jericho, this not aware of what's going on around him, Jericho, I'm ready for him to go away. I hope that Fozzy goes on tour for a year and a half after this. But Hook wins the title back on $0. That's it.
Also getting $0 from me, Bob. Not a good way to start off this card. I don't care about this match.
That should be on the kickoff show.
I know. I don't care about this match. I don't care about anything. Fozzy performing is very funny, though. And I will say Chris Jericho calling during Dynamite, calling it Cardiff, England when we're in Wales last night. Great heel move. Like, the guy knows his shit. I'm just tired of seeing it at this point. $0 from me. The next match. This is also one that, I mean, it's not exactly an exciting one, but it is a 21-man casino gauntlet match for the AEW World Championship. No, I should say for a future AEW World Championship shot. Okay,
and we 21 people.
21 people. Casino gauntlet match. Remember, they come out 5 at a time, and then 5 at a time, and then the Joker at the end. Some of the people in this match: Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Evil Uno, and Hangman Adam Page. This is being built as the Hangman Adam Page finally gets his hands on Swerve Avenue, the road we're building here. However, with this, shticky AEW Casino Gauntlet match, Hangman Adam Page was the original Joker in this match. Who will be the Joker? It's usually a name that pops, and there have been some big free agents from WWE that have been rumored to be at this show. And could they be the Joker? And could they be the one coming out on top and pushing the Swerve and Hangman feud farther out of sight here? I gotta say, pretty excited for this because it's a gimmick match. Not exactly excited that it's happening again. Like, I'm not tuning into the pay-per-view for this match. I'll give it $2.
Well, I'll give it a little more. I'm actually a little intrigued about is this, just to clarify the rules on this one, is this the one where if anyone gets pinned, the match is over?
No.
Or is this is
I'm pretty sure this is like a Royal Rumble.
Okay, that's why I was confused with the 21 entrants. I'm like, oh my God, like, out of the 21st person's like, geez, please, hopefully nobody get a pin. Like, but I'll give this. It's a ladder match. That's an instant $2 for me always.
Not a ladder match.
Oh Jesus,
it's a Royal Rumble.
Looking at it.
It's a Royal Rumble. Shit. It's a 21-man Royal Rumble.
Let's go $3. It's $3 and let's move on. That's $3. Hopefully Hangman Page wins and that's it. Like that. I liked Hangman Page attacking Evil Uno with the steel chair the second he found out that Uno was in the match with him last night. That was great.
I thought Evil Uno was fired. Happy to see he's back. I'm giving it 2. Bob's giving it 3. Who do you got winning? You got Hangman. I'm going to take the Joker. I think we're getting a free agent to be here.
Ricochet, that's who I would be thinking of if
Pretty
that was
awesome.
that would be pretty cool. Yeah. It's a
As would
guaranteed
Lashley.
it's a guaranteed world title shot. If Danielson wins, they don't need to have Hangman. That's if Danielson wins, and Hangman and Swerve are both heels at the moment. It's just all right, yeah. So they don't need to rush that match. So they could pull, it could be Ricochet. We'll see. But $3 from me, $2 from you.
All right, let's move on to your favorites. This is for the Tag Team Championship, and it's a three-way match. The Young Bucks are the champions. The Acclaimed are the challengers, and FTR is getting a paycheck. So this match, again, we've been building towards Bucks versus Acclaim the entire time. FTR very much shoehorned into here. I really enjoy two of these teams a lot, and anytime you can get FTR and the Young Bucks in the same wrestling ring, I'm going to buy it. Putting $3 on this, but the fact that if you told Tony Cavallo, 2-3 years ago that the Young Bucks and FTR are facing off in a tag team match and you're only paying $3 for it, I would have been stunned. So what do you think about this, my guy?
Well, I'm gonna contradict myself because I think I texted you or something last night or on DM that I couldn't be less interested in this match. But now just looking at it on paper, I know what FTR and Young Bucks are capable of, and the Acclaimed used to be big stars. Mm-hmm. They just completely have ruined themselves. But I'm just gonna agree with $3. I'm gonna just co-sign with you, and because if I was being an asshole, I would say 0 because I don't like somebody, but. FTR versus the Young Bucks is going to be a great match, and then the Acclaim's there. I'm afraid the Acclaim are walking out as champions as well. So,
God, that would hurt.
$3 for me. Yeah,
you're taking the Acclaim. I'm taking the Young Bucks. I'm taking the Young Bucks retain. I don't think we're getting the belts off of this elite tandem in quite some time, which might. It's
working so well. It's working so well.
It is working so well, but that might spoil one of my predictions for a match later on this card. I don't think the Elite are going down this easily this fast. But yes, right. I'll take the Young Bucks, and we're both paying $3 for that match. So far, Bob, we're a third of the way through this card. $50 was supposed to spend. You got 6, I got 5. Not a good start. Not a good start.
I mean, the matches you've read off so far have sucked. So, but it's going to get really good. It's going to get better.
Next match. Did you know that there's not just a tag team championship in AEW, but there's a trios championship in AEW? Right now, the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Kill Switch, formerly Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne are the champions. They will be with Mother Wayne for this match, facing off the Bang Bang Gang and the 3 worst members of the Bang Bang Gang. House of Black, who is still in AEW, is also still in this match. And then the surprise team that we didn't know who it was going to be, it is Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club, but not the Blackpool Combat Club members that you care about. So, Bob, in this complete throwaway match, it's not Pac and Penta and Phoenix because those two are out of the company. So it's Pac and Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta because that makes sense. Bob.
Well, that ruins the dirt sheet dirt of the week. I thought it was going to be the Hurts.
Dirt sheet dirt of the week's dead. But I will say, and again, this is according to Wikipedia. I don't know who the F is in this match, but it's Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club because, again, it makes sense. Bob, interesting grouping here of people. This is very much everyone get in the pool and get a paycheck here. I love Christian Cage and the Patriarchy and everything he's been doing. And also they added the stipulation that this is a ladder match, which is always fun.
Right.
I'm still only paying $3 for it because I don't care. I know it's going to be awesome, but I don't care.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I've never been able to get into the trios championships, even when the Elite versus like Pac and that whatever they did that best of 7 series with Death Triangle. I couldn't care less. I don't care about the trios titles, but as I said earlier, I think I said $2 is standard for a ladder match. That's just an automatic $2. So I'm going to settle it right there at $2. $1 less than you. I think we're now at the same amount heading into the rest of the matches. So this is going to be big to see which ones we're really excited about. Which ones? I mean, I haven't been. Nothing has excited me so far. So
I saved these final 5 for a reason because I think they're the most exciting. The first one has to do. As long as she's not fighting Saraya, it's an interesting match. It is the champion, the women's world champion, Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May in a blood feud that has been boiling for quite some time, long-term storytelling at its finest. Mariah May was the protege. Now she's stepped out after winning the Owen Hart Classic for this chance to get at Toni Storm. Could this be the time where timeless Toni Storm meets her demise? I'm very interested in this match. I'm excited for these two girls to go at it in the ring. They're both very, very talented at what they do. And I think there's going to be a lot of, chicanery in this match because that's what timeless Toni Storm, she can sort of become a cartoon. This character has allowed her to do that. And Mariah May can go down this road. I'm excited to see what happens. I'm paying $5 for this match. I'm excited to see it. And I do think Toni Storm takes the L here. I think we leave All in Wembley with Mariah May standing tall as the champion and having the division chase her. Because timeless Toni Storm, I don't know what more you can do for her as a champion. I think she's had a great title run. I think she's really, she's carried that division in a big, big way. Even with Mercedes Moné coming in, Toni Storm has always been an important part of that division. And I think Mariah May beating her here gives her a reason to come back at her and keep this feud rolling down the mountain towards All Out. So that's my pick. I'm paying $5 for it.
All right. Yeah, I'll go 6. I'll go one more than you. I was around 5, but I don't want to pick the same. I really like Toni Storm a lot. She was when we did the draft, I think she was like my second overall pick or whatever for Team AEW. I'm a big fan of Toni Storm and I love this character. And I agree with you that it is time to take the title off her because I want to see where that brings Toni Storm mentally when she's not champion. She lose her mind even more. There's going to be more ways to go with that. And it's time to give Mariah May a title and give her a push. And this would be a huge win for her. So $6, new champion Mariah May.
$6, new champion Mariah May. Hopefully we're wrong and Toni Storm retains, but I do believe Mariah May comes out on top. Because again, I believe who do we have winning the patriarchy match? Did we even pick a winner there? I don't know if I picked a winner.
I did. I wanted to move on as quickly as possible. So I thought the mystery team was going to be Bobby Lashley and whatever. If you tell me it's Pac and the reject members of the Blackpool Combat Club, I don't care. So the patriarchy. Maybe the Bang Bang Gang. That's such. Oh God. So Jay White's not even in.
Jay White's not even in it. The 3 members of the Bang Bang Gang that don't matter.
Oh my God. Well, Juice Robinson's the man, but the Guns I don't care about. But yeah, maybe House of Black. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, until this Toni Storm match, we don't have a title change yet, and I think this is our first one. Next up, though, this is for a new title. I shouldn't say a new title, a new look of an old title. It is a coffin match for the TNT Championship. Jack Perry walking in as the champion versus Darby Allin. Listen, these are two guys, whether you like them or not, AEW is building them as stars in the future of this company. This is a match that we may look back if AEW is still here in 5-10 years and be like, oh yeah, they faced each other in 2024's All In, and now they're facing each other in 2029's this. You know what I mean? It's just something that you can constantly have a feud building for the rest of their careers in this company, in this promotion. So should Darby Allin stay alive that long? So Darby Allin in a coffin match at Wembley Stadium against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I do believe coffin matches are like no DQs, no countouts, because we don't really have on a card here where there's going to be a match where people are going to be going all throughout the stadium, and that AEW likes to have one of those. I think this could be that match. I am excited to see this happen. I do not know who wins. I really don't, because you could tell me any one of them walks out with the belt. I think Darby Allin, this talks about him fighting for the main belt in the future, so you can't really have him be TNT champion again. That kind of keeps him at a certain level. Jack Perry also could really do things with this belt that he created. He boiled down the old one and made this new one and painted it black. Like, this could be Jack Perry's title for a while, and his first feud with Darby Allin could be a way to propel him to a new stage of importance on the AEW standings here. And I'm going to pick Jungle Boy to retain, and I'm paying $5 to see it happen. I'm just as interested in this as I am the Toni Storm Mariah May feud. I think we're starting now to get really juicy with these matches here. Bob, what do you have?
I'm going 7. I'm more excited, way more excited than this match than you are. I guess I'm not a big. I Jack Perry versus Darby Allin. These are 2 AEW originals, and these is whenever that match was when Jack Perry drove a car into Darby Allin and exploded. Like, this rivalry has been insane. They set each other on fire. I have no idea what's going to happen in this match. Darby Allin's going to be suspended upside down somehow. I know that's going to happen. And then other than that, I don't know. But I agree with you. Jack Perry just customized this title. He just posted that video. That doesn't really mean anything, but I don't think they're taking the title off of him for like almost like a year. I think they should just leave that on him and have that be his title and build him up and make him an actual heel that wins matches like on his own. That's what I want to see him just beat Darby Allin. I don't want to see the Elite Brandon Cutler getting involved with coolant like that. Keep that bullshit away. Let's get a good coffin match, some badass stunt work here from Darby. That's what he's gonna do, and I think he's gonna fall into a coffin from 100 feet high somehow. I think that's how the match is gonna end. He's gonna fall into a coffin from the top of Wembley Stadium. So that's my.
They're gonna actually have the coffin suspended in the air, and when the lid closes, that's when the whole thing falls.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and Jack Perry wins. So what did I say? $8?
Yeah, you said $7, so you are now at 21 total, and I am at 18 total. There's only 3 matches remaining, and we got to get to $50.
No, there's one of them that I'm going to give a very low score to coming up. So,
is it Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker for for the TBS Championship? Mercedes Moné is being billed as with Camille, her Diesel. I'm excited about that. I enjoyed this promo battle, the contract signing. I thought Britt Baker was really, really good here.
Yeah.
I saw people were making fun of her by saying, you were 1 of 4, I'm 1 of 1. I thought that was an A+ line from her. And everything that's happened behind the scenes with Britt Baker, all the dirt sheet dirts of the week for Britt Baker, when it gets in the ring, it doesn't matter because Britt Baker is AEW. She is the women's division in AEW, and Mercedes Moné is the ultimate outsider. She is WWE. Like, that's what she is known for, first and foremost. So this clash is very much, when we were doing that fake Forbidden Door fantasy booking, WWE versus AEW, a year ago, this might have been the match for the women's championship. Britt versus Sasha Banks then, Mercedes Moné now. I'm excited to see this happen, but I'm not excited for the match on the card, if that makes sense. I'm only paying $2 for it. Takes me to $20 total. But I believe this is deserving of Wembley Stadium. So, like, I'm kind of Tony, the wrestling fan, is happy this is happening. Tony, the wrestling fan, is also not interested in watching the match happen. I don't know how that makes sense, but that's how the dichotomy of how I'm dealing with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3. So I was going. This is my low. I might end up paying more than you for this pay-per-view, which is astonishing, given how much crap I give this company. But it's just the build to me that has disappointed me with this. It's not anything to do with Moné or Baker. Her not being on TV for a couple. It was just weird timing. It should feel more important than it does. Yeah. Like, we should both be like 5, right, or 10, right? We should both be like, this is fucking Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker, but the star power is there, but the storyline to me really isn't. It should be, but it's just not enough buzz, not enough effort into this match, building to it. To me, that's just my issue with it. But still want to see it, so I'll give it $3. And I think Monet's retaining because of Camille or something like that. And I don't think they're going to take the title off her.
I do think Moné retains. I agree with you there. I also think this opens up the show.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they got to do one of the gimmick matches early, too. I think they're going to open with the ladder or the gauntlet. They can't go, like, 2.5 hours in. All right, we got a ladder and then the gauntlet.
Well, you need to wake people up after Jericho Hook. So I'm saving those gimmick matches for a little bit later on in the evening.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But I think you got to open up with a real big singles feud match. I don't think you do it with the 2 matches we haven't talked about yet. I don't think you do it with the coffin match. And I think one of the women's matches opens up this show and sets the standard for what the rest of the night's going to be, because both of these women's matches are like, there's a chance they could be really, really good. We make fun of AEW for, I believe, their longest women's match so far ever, lifetime, is Willow Nightingale versus Sasha Banks, and it was under 20 minutes. So if we could get a women's match that is longer, that is just a huge singles competition, I think Britt versus Moné gives us our best chance at that. And I could definitely see this opening up the show. But again, you are at $24 with 2 matches remaining. I'm at $20. We have to get to $50 if this is worth the price of admission. 2 matches are left. This one is for, depending on who you're rooting for, the AEW American Championship or the AEW International Championship, or a championship that I'm forgetting the name of. Regardless, MJF comes in as is he the champion? I don't even know because he
Yes, yes,
is the
yes.
official champion. He's changed it to the
Yeah, he's
American
got the
belt. He's
American title belt. He's changed
as the
everything. It's
champion,
beautiful. Yeah,
full Hulk Hogan, I am a real American heel, and Will
minus the
Ospreay
racism.
as the hometown hero coming in, giving one of the best promos of his career on Dynamite, a really fantastic stuff, and the best wrestler in the world. And I am so excited to see this match, as should every wrestling fan, whether they're a WWE stan or not. Bob, this could be the match that legitimately makes or breaks the future of this company. That's how much pressure I'm putting on this match right
Oh
here.
boy, woo, that's a
What do
bit.
you have
Yeah.
to say about it?
Well, I kind of agree. It feels more important than Danielson and Strickland, which is shocking to me. We'll get to that next, but this feels like the main event to me. This is the one I'm going to give the most dollar value to, not to spoil it, but this will. I mean, if you want me to give me my dollar value, the
Do
number that
whatever you
pops to
want.
my head is like it's like 15. That's how much $15. I'm going big on this one. This one is especially after that promo last night. I love that MJF and Will Ospreay promo. I can't believe it. Like when Will Ospreay first arrived, the bruv shit, and just the way he talked, I was like, this guy is never gonna amount to like the big star. But as more goes on and on, I love the way he talks. I love how like just he's perfect. He's great.
Yep.
And I loved MJF screaming at it, "Look at me, boy!" When Will Ospreay is 3 years older than him. That just cracked me up last night. That shit's just great. MJF's really establishing himself as a heel once again.
Yeah.
This has been like the perfect storyline for him to reestablish himself and get away from the goofiness with Adam Cole and the friendship and the going to the Kowloon. That bullshit's like this is a really great storyline. So yeah, I'm gonna give it $15, and I think Will Ospreay's getting the title back. And I hope this storyline. I think Will Ospreay's winning in front of his home crowd. I can't imagine. They have to put this on last if they're gonna have MJF walk out the winner. Is they're gonna burn the building down. So like that's how much heat they got. So that's why I'm invested in this. And the Will Ospreay and MJF, to me, they drafted them both on Team AEW when we did that draft.
Yep.
Because I think they're the future.
Yep.
And this is the biggest rivalry in the company, even with Bryan Danielson potentially retiring. This is overshadowing it. So I'm giving this $15. I would pay the pay-per-view, honestly, if this was just like this match and a bunch of bullshit matches, I would be paying $50 anyways just to see this match, which is pretty much what we got here. But
bunch of Jeff Jarrett versus Jay Lethals in this match.
So 15, Will Ospreay's winning.
You said it right there, man. If MJF wins this, they're burning the place down.
Yeah.
How awesome would it be?
Oh, you know, unbelievable. That would be fantastic.
Awesome would it be?
Oh,
Because MJF has come back and he's been, right away a guy that matters, and they put him in a couple of weird feuds at Forbidden Door. This is his first real feud coming back against a guy that could challenge him. This isn't Heshishiro or whoever he's facing. This is a guy that could actually bring the fight to MJF. And Will Ospreay has said when he lost to Swerve, he was open and saying, like, I was okay going out on my back because I wanted to build up Swerve and build up the company. He could do the same thing here with MJF. Because if Will Ospreay takes this loss, that's a bigger mountain for babyface Will Ospreay to climb.
True.
And I'm okay with that. I do think MJF pulls this out because if you can beat, quote unquote, the best in the world for America, imagine the promos that could come out of this man afterwards. It would be spectacular. And Bob, not only am I picking MJF, I'm also paying big money for it. $25 American for this match.
Oh wow! All right.
If you sold this match as a solo match and like we were trading tapes, I'd throw $25 down on it, no problem, and I'd have this match for the rest of my life. That's how excited I am for it. I think MJF, Will Ospreay, again, the future of the company is at stake here. If these guys can put in a match that people talk about not only tomorrow but for the rest of the year, for the next few years, people could legitimately tune into AEW for this reason because of this MJF Will Ospreay match. They're capable of doing it. The athletic feats that these men are, they're capable of telling this story, especially with the Tiger Driver coming back now, and that's going to be part of this match. And Bryan Danielson going to Will Ospreay saying, "Do it, bloodied Will Ospreay," the American versus the hometown boy in London. Like, there's so much stupid shit that you could add to this match, and MJF will. He's excellent at that stuff. There is so much stupid stuff you can add to this match. It is going to be special. And I do think MJF wins this match and becomes the most hated man overseas. I was about to say the most hated man in America, but he is the American. I would say he's the most hated man overseas, the most hated man in the arena. $25.
Yeah.
MJF is the
Wow.
champion. Bob, one match remaining. You're at 39. One match remaining. From me, I'm at 45 after that $25 banger. We only need a little bit more to get to 50.
Yeah.
And it is the AEW World Championship title versus career. Swerve Strickland is the champion. If he beats Bryan Danielson, we will never see Bryan Danielson in a wrestling ring again, much to his daughter Birdie's joy. Bryan Danielson wins. He becomes the champion. Bryan Danielson's family will be there. Bree will be there. Nikki Bella might be there. This match is, again, we said MJF Will Ospreay is the match you're tuning into. I got to say, over the past few weeks, this has turned me into the match I'm looking forward to the most. I might be looking
What are
forward
you
to
gonna
more than MJF Will Ospreay.
What are you gonna put $30 on this one?
Just saying.
$150 on this one.
this is a damn good build. What do you think?
Well, I didn't love the build until the past couple weeks. Like to the past couple weeks, like in particular, like if you asked me this question yesterday, I would have said $8. Now I'm bumping it up to I'll go 14. So I'm over 50 by a couple bucks, I think. So it's worth the price of admission for me. The MJF is $1 more because I'm more invested in that storyline. But if the Bryan Danielson's promo last night was stuff that I've been waiting to hear from him since he got there. Yeah. Just the passion in his voice. I'm tired of the nice guy Danielson. I know he does the crazy matches, and I'm tired of the Blackpool Combat Club Danielson. I want him to get I want him to get a title run. I don't want him to be 0-10 in title matches or whatever the stat will be if he doesn't win this match and his career is over. So I'm whatever I said, $13 or 14, whatever. But I want to see Danielson win, and I'm predicting him to win because I can't believe this would be unbelievable. This is his last. It might very well be, but without him,
they got me believing it will be. They've sold it.
They've sold that promo last night. Sold it. I love I'm going to leave my soul in the ring line by Danielson. I'm a huge Danielson mark. I do not want to see him retire, but if he did, this is his last match, what a tremendous career. But if not, what?
No, what? I'm laughing because of the joy this brings me. They've sold it that way. This could be his last match. This could be the last. I believe it. Normally, when it's the career versus whatever, the career always wins. No, I believe it.
Yeah, him bringing the daughter into it really like throws it like. Well, he can't be easy lying about his daughter wanting him to be a dad. I don't think so. So like, but I can't imagine. I think he's walking out of age after that promo. I want to see him win the title and have a few months with it and then retire. If you just have the title for a bit and you lose it back to Strickland at World's End if you want, but like I want to see Danielson have that title because if for a perfect world, sign Danielson for a few more years, but maybe he doesn't have that left in him. But
he might not want to. He's talking about neck surgery. He's been talking about all of it. This is a very believable loss for Danielson, and again, it would really make Swerve if he's the one to end Danielson's career and keep that championship. Who's going to challenge him? I think D-Bry wins as well.
Yeah.
I think Bryan leaves as champion. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Hangman gets involved after losing the Casino Battle Royale to the Joker and losing his chance at Swerve, so he cost Swerve the belt. I wouldn't be surprised if they do some chicanery here to keep Swerve looking strong. However, I'm paying $25 to see it happen. The same amount of money I'm paying for Ospreay versus MJF. That leaves me at $70 for this pay-per-view. It is though these two matches are well worth the price of admission. These two matches alone, I'm buying the pay-per-view for, so they add up to $50. That's how I'm going into this. I cannot wait to watch this match. I cannot wait to watch this match. The shots of his family crying. You know it's going to happen. It's going to be an
emotional roller coaster. Yeah. It'll be emotional roller coaster, especially for me, because I've been a fan of Bryan Danielson my entire adult life. So as he said last night, he's been wrestling for 25 years or whatever. This would be a huge loss for AEW if he is retiring. So I'm hoping he's not. And he's walking out. Me too, man.
Me too. Yeah. I think he wins, and I think I would be very happy if he does win. It would be something special, dude. And I think you could give Ospreay the next feud is Ospreay Daniel Bryan. Like that's the guy who takes it off of Bryan Danielson is Will Ospreay with this whole Tiger Driver bullshit, and then Bryan Danielson rides off into the sunset. And if I'm wrong, it's gonna hurt, man. Seeing
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson lose here and knowing it's gonna cost him everything, it will really hurt. And I
just
hope we're
can't.
not getting hurt this weekend, but I'm excited for it, man. Both of us are over the price of admission on this pay-per-view. So you got to say, are you are excited for this pay-per-view?
Yeah. Overall, I'm excited. It's the biggest show of the year. There's of course the Jericho matches and stuff in there that you just don't understand why it's happening. But other than that, like the rest of it, like makes sense. It's just crazy to me that you can have like Will Ospreay versus MJF and Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland, all this passion involved. And then you got Hook versus Jericho versus the FTW title. It's like on the same card. It's like, it feels like an independent wrestling company for the first half of the show. And then we got like a big organization. But other than that, like I am excited overall. I just want the show to work for them. Like I want it to be really. I bash AEW regularly, but if you listen to this podcast, I want them to succeed overall. And I just want this to be one of those shows where people like buzzing after it for the whole week, and WWE scrambling to get people to talk about Bash in Berlin. I want to put some pressure on WWE. We'll see. They have a chance to with those two last matches are really special. Those two that we just talked about, they're really, really special. And I'm really looking forward to the card, just mainly because of those two matches as well.
Well, we shall see what happens. I'm excited for it. We will be watching it, maybe going live afterwards. Probably not going live afterwards. I don't think we're going to get that much of a crowd to go live after All In, but I'm going to be enjoying watching it. Let's move on, though. Before we leave, before we go to the gimmicks, what has happened in WWE this week? There are two big things we want to talk about, Bob. First and foremost, the Judgment Day. Chaos happening in the Judgment Day. What's going on there?
Well, just on Raw, Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio cut a backstage promo, which I thought was excellent. And just for Dominic Mysterio, I think we've even argued about Dominic Mysterio's potential on this show. And I think he can be a big star. And I thought his promo on Raw really showed that. And then, of course, though, he gets booked like a clown. 5 minutes later, he's supposed to face Damian Priest, and the whole Judgment Day attacks from behind. And then Dominic Mysterio's get his ass kicked all around the ring. And if we were going to do a prediction show for Bash in Berlin, which we'll be doing next week, I'm going to give away my prediction for this one right now. I think Rhea Ripley's pinning Dominic Mysterio in that match. So like that's how I think that's going. So, but my question to you is, even with that, I think he can withstand getting pinned by Rhea Ripley. Mike, just a quick question to you. Do you think that, like, your opinion on Dominic Mysterio, like, do you think he could be anything more than like a mid-carder? Is that like his top level to you? Because he's got the mustache. He looks like a goof now.
He looks
but
great.
I think
the character's great.
Yeah,
I've always been worried about the wrestler.
Yeah, he's not his dad in the ring.
I've always been worried about the wrestler. Like the character work.
Yeah, the character work is exceptional. He's not nearly as great as his dad in the ring. He doesn't have the Rey Mysterio quickness in the ring. But,
and again, the Miz was world champion.
Yeah.
That's true. So you never know.
I think Dom can be more entertaining than the Miz. But just overall, we had to talk about the storyline, even if it's just for a minute, because they're building towards this epic like house show match, mixed tag team match at Bash in Berlin that we're going to be talking about next week for a lot longer than this. But I just wanted to bring it up here.
I do love the Rhea Ripley pinning Mysterio. That's a great pit.
We're going to be we'll talk about that in detail. We do the predictions next week. I think even more, but that's by how I think it's going to end, because I think that would be hilarious. I think that would be absolutely perfect.
I'm sure Triple H will be checking Twitter in Gorilla during that moment, definitely. But before we leave, it's still real to me, damn it.
Yeah, okay. This is an interesting one. Chad Gable will be facing Uncle Howdy on Raw, not at Bash in Berlin, on Raw, which is weird. It's just throwing away a Raw about an hour away from me in Providence. They're going to be having a singles match on Monday night. Uncle Howdy versus
you going to be there?
Chad Gable. No, I'm going to be covering and working like an asshole, like always. But I should go. But maybe I'll go. Maybe I will go. No, I won't. But
ask
anyways,
for a media pass. I'm telling you, ask for a media pass. You get it for free.
I'll try. I don't think that Sportskeeda is. Well, hang on. Let me focus on my It's Still Real to Me. Goddammit. Anyway, so Chad Gable was on Chris Van Vliet's Inside Podcast, and he just gave a quick comment about how important it was to take the Sister Abigail, because he mentioned that Bray Wyatt was basically one of his mentors. He really looked up to him, and he wanted to put a little stank on it, was his word, to pay tribute to Bray Wyatt. And I thought he did that this past Monday night on Raw. Bo Dallas hit an unbelievable Sister Abigail. Chad Gable somehow it was head on the mat, legs straight in the air. I don't know how the hell he sold it like that. It looked like he died. So I'm just really looking forward to this match because I think Chad Gable is going to make Bo Dallas like a star. I think he's going to make him look, because Chad Gable, for everything like I wanted to be Intercontinental Champion, his real gift is selling. Yeah. His real gift is getting his ass kicked and making the guy across from him look like $1 million. And that's why WWE just signed him for 5 years or whatever they did, because he's really extraordinary. He's an extraordinary talent that probably will never win a major title, which is fine. But I think that this will be the main event of Raw, and I think this will be really special. If you were a Bray Wyatt fan like me and myself, I was, even through with all his flaws, I thought Bray Wyatt, when it connected, it was special. And I think they have a chance to do that with the Wyatt Six. And I'm just really excited about this match. And it means a ton to Chad Gable. I just wanted to point that out. It's like, this isn't some storyline that he's just thrown in. He's unbelievably invested in this. So I think this is going to be a real success for Uncle Howdy on Raw. Start to really get everyone invested in that character, other than just mysterious faction. Let's actually learn about Uncle Howdy and what he can do.
Let's have a match. I'm excited for an actual match. That'd be nice. I'd make less smoke machine, more match. That's what wrestling is all about. But that's it for the Raw recap of the week. Let's end the show with our gimmicks of the week. This is stuff that happened throughout the week of wrestling, but didn't exactly live up to expectations big enough for us to have a main segment on, especially when we're having a show breaking down an actual pay-per-view that's happening. But the first gimmick is the Shivani screw-up of the week. I hope we're not using the sound clip that we used last time. But what happened for the Shivani screw-up of the week, Bob?
Well, just Raw went off the air in the weirdest spot possible. Randy Orton had just defeated Ludwig Kaiser in the main event. That doesn't sound like a main event match, but it was actually pretty damn good. And then Gunther was ringside. Gunther and Orton are fighting for the title at Bash in Berlin. They start brawling. The babyface Orton pokes Gunther in the eye. Random like that. That's how it went off the air. Like, just like the daintiest little poke in the eye for the world title feud. Imagine that, like Will Ospreay poking MJF in the eye at the end of that promo instead of what we got last night. Just a little poke, a little dainty. It's just, and then just hard cut, because USA Network, unlike AEW, they don't have that infinite whatever overrun. They hard cut out at 11 p.m. So it hard cuts with a poke in the eye. The most embarrassing way to build your title feud. The babyface poking Gunther, the heel in the eye. Just awful. Terrible end to Raw.
Do you think we're getting that because of Raw and WWE, or do you think we're getting that because USA is pissed off Raw's leaving?
Well, they're getting SmackDown. They're getting SmackDown in September 23rd is whenever that moves. So they're not losing everything. They're just losing Raw to Netflix, but they're still getting SmackDown. But they're also losing NXT to CW, so they could be a little pissed.
Maybe they're a little bit pissed. Return of the week, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, he showed up. He was in a walking boot, and he was sprinting in a walking boot.
Yep.
As you do. Return sprinting in a walking boot, attacking Roman Reigns. They're keeping, like, Roman Reigns has beat the shit out of Solo Sikoa each time that since he's returned at SummerSlam. He's beat down everybody in the bloodline besides Jacob Fatu. They're keeping him strong. That's the main feud. It's not Roman Reigns versus Sikoa. It's Reigns versus Fatu down the line. And I'm just excited that he's back. I've been really just blown away by how talented this guy is. I didn't know much about him before he got to WWE.
Jobber of the week. And this one's a surprise to Bob. He doesn't know about it, but we did talk about it already. Listen, Evil Uno coming into our picture and saying, hey, I can't wait to be a part of the Casino Battle Royale, and then taking a chair shot to the back and just dying. Listen, that's Jobber of the Week material. A+ job, Evil Uno. Fantastic move. Every wrestling show needs a couple of jobbers, and Evil Uno is at the top of that list. I thought that was fantastic, Bob.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mentioned it earlier. I audibly laughed out loud. Like, just by myself watching the show. I was like, that was fucking fun. Like an asshole. I was like, really enjoyed that segment. Yeah. Hangman Page, I think is best as well, he's good as a babyface, but I really enjoyed this version of Hangman that we're getting here. Just as bitter, angry, I can't wait for his feud with Strickland down the line.
I agree with you. And last gimmick is the promo of the week. And Bob, who's that going to this week?
It was Gunther. You never would think that, but Gunther, unscripted lines. The crowd was chanting USA at him. He's just like, what the? You just immediately cut him off. What do you only have 3 brain cells? And his ridiculous accent, it just sounded so, he sounds like a Bond villain. And he's just calling them Florida rednecks. He's just a perfect villain. He can say like 8 words right, and the rest of them are kind of jumbled and weird. He's just great. It's just, I love this promo for Gunther because he wasn't like stiff in the ring. He was able to adapt. He was like, here on the USA Network, his response didn't really make any sense to the crowd, but they all booed, so it worked. Mm-hmm. But I just love that he was in it. He was just reacting to everything around him, not just memorizing the script and just hammering through his lines. He paused and felt the crowd and went with it. And I just thought that was a good thing because he's the world heavyweight champion. You need to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And that is it for our show this week, the All In breakdown, the gimmicks of the week, what's going on in the Judgment Day. Next week, however, we will be breaking down the Bash at Berlin. But before we get there, we have to end the show with the headlines of the week. This is when we tell you what the wrestling world's going to be talking about at this point next week. Bob does WWE, I do AEW. Bob, you'll go first.
Oh, great. Braun Breaker is the Intercontinental Champion. There was a tournament announced. We could have done a tournament of the week gimmick, but my headline is just going to be Ilya Dragunov needs to be in this tournament and should be Braun Breaker's first opponent. He was the former NXT champion, called up, had this big match. I remember we was in the King of the Ring. We were talking about, I said, everybody needs to calm down. This is a headline segment. I was going to say,
this is longer than a headline. This is much longer. I was going to let you go until you finish and then say it.
I can't do this fucking segment.
The headline this is a long ass headline.
Ilya Dragunov is going to win the Intercontinental Championship tournament. There's my headline. We'll get into that next week.
Thank you. That's what we need.
The show's over.
You finally figured out what the headline segment is. The headline for AEW
next week.
The headline for AEW is MJF and Will Ospreay get a 7-star rating from Dave Meltzer. That's my headline. I cannot wait to see that match. Excited for it. I think it's going to pay off. 7 stars from Dave Meltzer. But that's it for the show. For Mr. Robert Lentini, my name is Tony Squares. This is a Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. Thank you for watching. And now we check in for this week in Ryback.